Restoration, or consecration, has long been a sticking point for many who toil in the rusty field of hand tools. I have found a few gems in my years of making users out of losers. Over the past 50-some years of tool use and gathering, I have come to the conclusion that there is just no way to know what will be collectible a year from now. As an example, I bought a 1946 Ford 3-ton straight truck in nasty shape. I intended to use it for hauling tractors to and from shows. The original idea was that with a historical plate and minimal insurance, it would cost less to own than a double-axle car hauling trailer and the truck to pull it. The 1946 Ford trucks were definitely not collectible at the time. The lines and grill work on the truck were inelegant and gave it the name of Jailbird in the magazines. Because I intended to drive it, I rebuilt the truck from the ground up. New brakes, bodywork, new bed, tires, everything to make sure it would haul 3 tons safely back and forth. I had $500 invested in the truck because parts were cheap. Nobody wanted them. I did spend a lot of time, but that's the fun part. Everything to make sure it would haul 3 tons safely back and forth. I had $500 invested in the truck because parts were cheap. Nobody wanted them. I did spend a lot of time, but that's the fun part. After 5 years, it was complete and ready to use. About that time, the idea of rat rods got popular. The 32 Fords, which were the hot ones, had been sold or collected years ago, and mostly were off the market. Needing an old truck to be cool, the guys started buying anything that would roll. 1942 through 1945, Ford didn't make trucks. 1948, the body style changed. 1946 turned desirable. Since I had a specific purpose for my truck, I never worried if I had devalued the truck, even after the prices went up. So getting back to planes. Stanley bedrock planes were hot when I first got into woodworking hand tools. I had a couple that wandered into the shop over the years, and when I learned that they had potential, I set them aside. The prices have risen and fell over the past 20 years, never high enough to make me want to get rid of 2 planes from my drawer. I still haven't cleaned them further than knocking off the dust and sharpening the blades. I relied on post-1950 planes as my workhorses. If it needed to be flattened or even brazed, I didn't hold back. Now the 1950s planes are becoming collectible. For me, the moral of the story is if the plane needed to be cleaned and flattened in 1950, it was cleaned and flattened. No one worried if their great-grandson would think less of their inheritance. They needed the tool to work. If you want to use a tool, by all means check to see if someone will give you a better deal in trade or cash, but if you don't find a buyer, go ahead and make it usable. Just don't ever cover the whole thing in polyurethane. That is hideous. If you mount a light in it for a table lamp or paint a farm scene on an 1800s distant saw plate with a readable etch, you will be a social pariah at the Midwestern Tool Collectors Association meetings.